Life is gonna life, even if you are a life coach. I know for me, I've had to navigate some really difficult and emotionally draining territory over the last few weeks, all while still having to show up as a powerful coach. And I know I'm not immune to this. I've even had to recently support a client inside of my coach certification program, the Art and Skill of Coaching, who was coping with grief. Her mother was very ill and they were worried for a while, and that pending loss was consuming her. And she really was struggling to kind of show up in her personal life and her professional life and didn't want those really intense emotions to impact her coaching and the service that she was providing her clients. And this is where my training as a therapist, I think, really gets the opportunity to shine, because I have had to learn how to be a human and a helper at the same time. And I'm going to be sharing with you my top 3 tips today. But this could be for anyone who's experiencing any type of difficulty, unforeseen circumstance, or struggle, because when your energy is low and your emotions are high, it's hard to show up, but you still can serve powerfully in whatever role that is for you, even when you're not feeling great. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. But first things first, let's call something out really quickly. This is not even a problem. And I know that sounds a little weird, but this is a sticky thought that a lot of individuals have, and it's not helping. And that thought is that just because you don't feel great doesn't mean that you can't provide a great service, or that just because you're a coach makes you immune to being a human. And I know this sounds obvious, like most of us probably already know this, but when we're in it, it doesn't feel that way, right? Like we aren't allowed to be human. We aren't allowed to have lives or experience struggles or have off days even. And this is a really unhealthy, because it's an unrealistic thought, and it's going to set you up for failure. So let's go ahead and dive into my 3 tips today. They're in no particular order, but these are things that I've been doing for the last 15 years to really help me experience a lot of life and help a lot of people. So the first thing is you want to give yourself some compassion and grace, the same way that you would your clients who are going through something difficult. And in those moments, particularly when you don't feel well, your energy's off, you're distracted, life is happening, that is actually not the time to beat yourself up or be rigid or harsh. This is the part where self-compassion comes into play, and it's really important to actually implement this, not just say it. And what it looks like in practice is to move from self-criticism, self-judgment, self-hatred, and rigidity and force, and into a place of grace, understanding, perspective, slowing down, meeting your needs, being attuned to what's best for you, and showing yourself some kindness, some gentleness, some nurturing as you're moving through something difficult. And it does not mean anything negative about you or your ability to help others if this is the space that you're in. When you actively nurture yourself and attune to your needs and deal with them, you'll be able to move through that season a lot quicker so that you can come back to your normal levels of emotion, energy, and service. My second tip for you is you only want to focus on what's necessary right now. Okay. And yes, this means some things will stay on your to-do list, and some people might be disappointed, and some things might get pushed off, and that sucks, but it is okay. And the reason why is because sometimes your capacity is limited due to external circumstances, stressors, or things that are demanding your attention and energy. And you want to identify your current availability and operate within that versus trying to pour from an empty cup or race a race car with no gas in it, okay? Remembering that this is just temporary when you do tip number 1, attune to what you need in the moment and take your time. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I had the best energy and plan and intentions going into this year, and thus far it has not been what I expected. I'm not on track for my goals yet because of unexpected things that were outside of my control. And there is a part of me that feels a little disappointed and frustrated and even upset and tired, but I'm doing the best I can with what I got right now. And when I'm out of this season, I will pivot and I'll pick back up, and that's okay. But in the meantime, my focus, my yeses need to be protected heavily and need to be reserved for things that are actually necessary and allocated to my top priorities, which right now is myself and my clients as I navigate this season. Here's my third tip for you today. You want to clean up your unrealistic and hurtful expectations that you need to be super motivational to be helpful. Okay, I'm going to say that again. There's this sticky thought in the coaching profession that you need to be inspirational to be helpful, and that's not the case. You can be effective and be having a bad day because coaching is a skill set. And hear this, your clients want coaches, not cheerleaders. Okay, you don't have to be energetic to be effective. Because, like I referenced before, coaching is a technical practice. You can actually do it without feeling amazing, kind of like lawyers can still win a case and have an argument with their wife in the morning. How surgeons can perform an amazing surgery if they didn't sleep all the night before. That is okay. You can still provide a massive service even when you're not feeling amazing. And I think that needs to be said so that you're not adopting this unevaluated expectation in this profession that your job as a coach is to be inspiring. It is to be helpful, and that can look and sound a ton of different ways. Listen, I've said it like 13 times today, so I'm going to say it one more time. Life is going to life, even if you are a life coach. So instead of being caught off guard or disappointed or upset and negating your experience and trying to just push your way through it or make it mean anything about you or your business it doesn't need to, practice these 3 tips of giving yourself more grace and compassion. Don't enable the behavior, but being attuned to what you need, shifting your focus to what is important and necessary right now, because when you do that and treat the season as temporary and give yourself what you need, you will move past it, and manage those unrealistic and hurtful expectations that you need to feel amazing to be amazing at your job. Okay, this will not only help you show up and serve your clients, but show up and serve yourself in ways that allow you to move through the humanness and be an amazing coach. I hope you found this episode helpful. I'm really excited for this YouTube channel because this is a way that we can interact differently, especially with the comment section. So let me know what you guys thought, which tip really resonated with you. If you have any additional questions or thoughts about this topic, let's get a conversation going. And as always, if there are things that you want or need on this podcast, things you want to learn, things you're struggling with in your own personal development, things that you want some support around in terms of your coaching practice or with your clients, I got you. Let me know and I'll record something just for you. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you guys next week.